realized I was the first 1,000-yard receiver in Metro Region?
Oh, yeah, somebody lied and told me it was Kenny Cheatham. I was like, no, it wasn't. So we on the spot. We fresh off the pad work. We have a legend in the house. We're gonna talk. He's gonna tell us a little bit about his background, and then we're gonna talk about the Nate Robinson incident. Yes, it's an incident. And we're gonna talk about Danny Swift. We're gonna talk about Errol Spence. In the house today, we have Pastor Wayman Westbrooks. He's down here at Old School Boxing Club getting it in. Tell us a little bit about your athletic background, some of your accomplishments. Then I got some questions for you. This is an interview, no edit. Talk to us. You got to talk loud too. You can't be modest.
World? One named Wayman Westbrooks, Phoenix, Arizona, Maryville product, all-state receiver, all-state basketball player. Went to the University of Utah on a football scholarship.
Then the Utes.
Yeah, University of Utes. Transferred back to Glendale Community College, won a national championship.
Go Gauchos.
Yeah, finished out in North Carolina. Won a couple conference championships. First conference championship in school history. All-conference receiver. Set a bunch of school records. Had a great career.
What were you ranked in the country? Try to leave that out. Like, but you leave it out. You got to tell them.
It was a long time ago, but if I can remember, I think I was about number 4 in the country. Number 4 ranked receiver in the country.
In community college.
High school, then in community college, I think I was like number 8.
And then at the university, you was ranked number what?
1.
In the country. Okay. So now world, we talking to an athlete. Sometimes we'll talk to non-athletes. Today is not that day. We have a couple of things I want to ask you about. I got a couple of questions. Real simple stuff. You in the game now.
All right.
First question. No edit. First of all, shout out to No Edit. We're on the spot. Hyena Boxing Club. Coming soon. Keep your eyes open. Subscribe to the channel. Okay. Shameless plug. Let's talk about the Nate Robinson incident. I'm going to give a context, and then I have a question. Nate Robinson, we know him to be also a stud athlete. Played football at, I believe, the University of Washington, if I'm not mistaken. Exceptional athlete. Yeah. Played many years, undersized, in the NBA, won a few slam dunk contests, as athletic as anybody we've ever seen. And then we have, I keep calling him Paul Logan, but his name is Jake Paul. I'm sorry, Jake Paul Logan. Jake Paul. I keep saying your name wrong, and I do apologize. Who's obviously spent a lot of money to somebody teach him how to box. That's hard to tell in this bout because he had an incident with a guy that's not a boxer, regardless of his athletic background. The running line of thought is this. You play football, you play basketball, you play baseball, you play them sports. However, you do not play boxing. Okay, you do not play boxing. A synopsis of the bout. Nate Robinson runs out there, and 2 things happen. I ain't laughing at you, Nate. 2 things happen. He get hit, and then he hit the ground. He got up, and then those same 2 things happened again. He got hit, he hit the ground. And there are people who have attempted to discredit Jake Paul's win by saying you ain't fight a boxer, right? So then, the hoodie. So then, now I got word. Here's an exclusive on the drop today. It's 8 minutes. I got word that Antonio Tarver want to fight him. Jake Paul. Oh, man. Or Paul Logan, whatever his name is. Now, that's not fair, even at age 53. You're a multi-time world champion. This is this dude's first fight. Don't treat Jake Paul like we don't know who Floyd Mayweather's first fight was. We don't know who Antonio Tarver's first fight was. We generally don't know that. And generally it's either a cab driver, somebody coming off the bench, somebody ain't fought in a while, so on and so forth. Now that does not work in other sports. You cannot do that. Okay. How significant, here's the question. How significant, now you got the context, here's the question. How significant are the results of this bout? What does this say about Jake Paul, Logan? Jake Paul? What does this say about Nate Robinson?
I think what it says was, and really with both of them, I feel like Jake Paul was a little bit more prepared.
Right.
Had a little bit better training, not knocking, what Nate did prior to the fight. But with Nate, I think he took it as like, almost like it. When you're fighting a guy in the street, okay, I'm gonna rush him and then I'm gonna grab him. We're gonna tussle.
Right.
And it seemed like a lot of his technique went out the window. Because I believe there were some things that Nate was taught. But when you get thrown in that ring, it's a whole different animal.
Very different.
A whole different animal. And what I've learned, because I just started training a couple months now to maybe 3 months.
Couple months.
I've learned that this is not something that you can just jump into and in a couple months you're ready to go. Now this takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of training, and I think a lot of Nate's training and his fundamentals went out the door.
Right.
After that first knockdown.
First knockdown.
Yeah, after that first knockdown, I honestly think Nate didn't want to fight anymore. But pride kicked in.
So he got up.
The just him being the competitor that he is a competitor in all of us says, okay, no, I'm not just gonna have my corner throwing this white towel.
Right.
I'm gonna go out there and continue to compete. But
right.
The unfortunate part was the result was not good.
Right.
So.
The white towel is for fighters. If you're not a fighter, let them throw in the white towel so you can drink, so you're not sipping out a sippy cup for the next 15 years. Your body's not acclimated to take the type of beating a fighter's body can take in order for the towel not to be thrown in, for the sake of not having a towel thrown in. So in Nate's situation, it's okay for them to throw in a towel. Right?
I agree.
Because your body is not constructed fighting and doing whatever boxing and doing whatever he do. Your body acclimates differently to different things, and his body's not acclimated to take a beating.
Very, very different. And
right.
And just me being an athlete, playing
football too. On top of that,
playing at the highest level.
Right.
Training for football that is very intense.
Right.
But training for boxing is
way something else.
Yeah, it supersedes everything.
Right. Way something else.
And people, I found a new appreciation, for boxing. I commend professional boxers.
That's why I tell people don't talk. That's why I tell people don't talk bad about fighters. You can't whoop them.
No.
I tell people that all the time. Such as I heard somebody say this the other day, which was the most asinine thing I ever heard. Oh, Canelo is whack. Okay, you go fight him. Next time you see him somewhere, run up on him.
Man.
And when you wake up in the hospital, if you wake up in the hospital, you're no different next time.
Man, I thank God to this day that even growing up, we would get into altercations and things like that.
Southside.
And I thank God that I never ran into anyone that actually knew how to box.
Right.
Because if I ran into someone that knew how to box, I would have got knocked out.
Right. Can you compete or can you do this stuff absent emotion? That's boxing in a nutshell. You have to do it absent emotion. You can't be riled up and then run in there and talk, because you're gonna end up. We're gonna have an incident. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna end up like Nate Robinson.
You're gonna end up like Nate. It's okay, Nate. Come down here with me, Nate. I'll show you how to do it right. Okay. We getting on to tonight's fight, and I'm gonna let you go, brother. On the spot, no edit. We ain't got no music or nothing. We doing it like this. We got Danny Garcia. We got Errol the Truth. I'm going to give, like I always do, without a full breakdown. I generally do a full one, but not today. I'm going to give my prediction first, and then keys to victory for both guys. That's how we do it, no edit. We don't hedge. I'm going to tell you who I think going to win, and I'm going to tell you how I think they're going to win. And then I'm going to tell you what each dude can do to win. You got to do the same thing. Every guest on the show, when we go live, they got prediction first, because I don't want you in the middle. I don't want nobody in the middle. We don't hedge. This ain't ESPN. We don't hedge. We're going to pick one first. And then I'll tell you how I think both of them can win. Okay. My prediction, Danny Garcia will win by split decision. Danny Garcia will win by split decision. I'm not saying unanimous. I don't think that there's going to be a janky judge. Yeah, I know how these things work. Trust me. I've been in the business a long time. Danny Garcia by split decision. Now, why do you say that? Here's my explanation. Danny Garcia is the wrong dude to fight, and you ain't fought in a year and a half. I do not care who you are. Danny Garcia is the absolute wrong choice. If you think Danny Garcia is just going to walk straight ahead and you think he does what... If you think Danny Garcia is so minuscule in his boxing ability that he's going to attack a bigger opponent in a straight line, you don't know much about boxing. Danny Garcia is one of the best counterpunchers, believe it or not, I've ever seen. Danny Garcia. They call him Swift for a reason, because the hands are... People... He tried to get into the throwing the left hook whole thing. No, you're a counterpuncher. You smoke cats when you counterpunch. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think he understands that. I think Angel, who I have a lot of respect for, believe it or not, I think he's prepared Danny to go out there and counterpunch the snot out, because you know Errol coming for a knockout because he want to look good, and he chose you to try and look good. I think it's going to backfire. Stop being a hater. It's not. I'm not being a hater. It's my prediction. Now, keys to victory. Simple. To 4, Errol spins to win. Do what you did against Mikey Garcia. Go out there and box. You have not boxed in a year and a half. I don't care how much training you're doing. I like Derek James and them cats. Them dudes is great. They do a wonderful job out there. A wonderful job. They've done a wonderful job with you. However, you're going to want to box this one. You need. I don't want. It's rust. Period. Like I don't. You coming off a bad accident. We don't really know what kind of effect it's had on you, and it's rust. If you had no accident, there's rust. In a boxing match, there's rust. You ain't done it in a year and a half. I don't care how much sparring you done. You ain't done it. And you choose an opponent wisely so you know what your body can and can't take. You don't want to find that out against Danny Garcia. That's not the guy you pick for that. That's why I'm making because he can, not only can he beat you he's capable of beating you at 100%, and you ain't 100%. I don't care what you say. Psychologically, you're not 100%, even if your body is. You understand what I'm saying? Because learning the guy's timing and all that stuff, and sparring partners are paid for you to practice. This is not practice. This is not a live scrimmage. The buzzer has sounded and the ball has been tipped. And because of that, you need to do another Mikey Garcia routine. They said you couldn't box, so you wanted to prove everybody wrong in box. And if you box Danny Garcia, you will win. Period. If you come in there like a buzzsaw, he's going to counterpunch you all night. That's him. Danny, for you to win, I need you to have smart pressure. Smart pressure. Know when to put your foot on the gas and know when to counter. Bait him in the counters. Set up the counter. Kill a side of the body. Hold on. We on the air, Will. I'll call you back in a second. Kill it. Take one half of his body away in your positioning, and that limits what he can throw, and then counter what he throws. Again, take one side of his body away. Pick a side. That's where your feet are. They ain't got nothing to do with throwing no punch. Eliminate one hand. That limits how many counters he can throw. Okay, if I'm sitting on your left hand, you ain't throwing a left hook, you ain't throwing a left uppercut, you ain't throwing a left jab. Okay, so, and then predict the counter. Force him to counter certain ways. Okay, touch his shoulder, touch his elbow before he throw a shot, run a couple combinations to the glove, don't try to land a bit, and then let him throw something hard so you can counter it. Counter when he sits. If you try to counter off every little thing he throw, he's going to knock you out because you're going to catch you in an exchange. Okay? You listening to Danny? All right, boom. Same question. So I gave her a very specific prediction. Keys to victory for both guys. For the fans, if you ain't seen my Roy Jones, Mike Tyson prediction, I need y'all to go look at it. I was 100% accurate in my keys to victory. And yes, Roy Jones Jr. won. And yes, Roy Jones Jr. got robbed. Look at the look on their faces. When they were standing in the middle of the ring, Roy Jones, God let Roy Jones be Roy Jones one more night. Basically, that's what that was. God let Roy, I'm going to let you run them bases one more time. And he ran them bases one more time. Mike Tyson had a despondent look on his face like he knew he lost because he was frustrated. That's why he said he good with a draw. When has Mike Tyson ever been good with a draw? Okay, so all you Mike Tyson punch out fans, I played the game too. Stop acting. Mike lost. Okay, end the story. Now, keys to victory. Hold on, prediction first. Keys to victory.
Well, it'd be tough for me to give the keys to victory because I'm barely learning the sport. But from what I know, I would actually have Garcia in a split decision too, like you said, and a lot of it is just a lot of what you said because this man, I mean, he just didn't have a fender bender.
Right.
He got into that car.
Like a flip.
Like
that thing turned 4 times.
God, God was with him, man. And
right.
I'm happy Earl Spence
is healthy and alive. Now put
exactly.
that bottle down.
Exactly.
Okay.
He's healthy and he's alive. But you haven't, that's just like going out there and, like I said, you haven't fought in a year and a half. Now you're going to fight. Like you said, you're not fighting Joe Blow off the contender.
Right. Right.
You know, and from what I know, most boxers do try to, get someone.
Work your way back.
Work
your way back. And there's nothing wrong with that. And nobody gonna look at you adversely if you do that. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You're fighting Danny Garcia, who's
a rumbler.
At the top, one of the top of his classes.
Absolutely. He's one of the reasons the welterweight division is so deep.
Yeah.
When you talk about the welterweight division, welterweight, 147, being deep, you're talking about him. You're talking about Sean Porter. You're talking about Keith Thurman. You're talking about Manny Pacquiao. You're talking about Adrian Broner. Yes, he's going to win his next fight. You're talking about, that's the division. You don't pick none of them to come back.
No. And it's just because, I'm a football guy, and I love college football. And at the beginning, if you look at the beginning of football seasons, there are some ranked teams that will play ranked teams, but you don't have, like you said, you talk about the class, the boxing class you just mentioned.
Right.
I compare that to the SEC in football.
Oh yeah.
Alabama,
right.
Florida, Georgia, Auburn.
Right.
Just on a year-to-year basis. So you don't see Georgia playing Florida.
Right.
First game of
the season. Right.
Georgia may play, or Florida may play the Citadel. They always play like the Citadel, or someone, to
Mississippi Valley State or somebody, right?
To get them ready,
right?
And it's almost like just sharpening up your skills,
cleaning up them holes, man. Cleaning up the holes, right?
So with Earl Spence coming out the gate. Year and a half fighting Danny Garcia. Because at first I'm like, I'm like a lot of people. Initially, I was like a lot of people that think they know boxing.
Right.
Earl Spence. He gonna knock him out.
No, he not.
And
no, he
because
not.
now
I doubt
what
it.
because I was a college football coach.
Right.
I used to study film.
Right.
Now that my cousin on the other side of the camera has gotten me into boxing. Now, I don't look at boxing as a fan too much anymore. I'm like actually looking at
Right.
their feet, looking at their techniques,
Right.
things like that. And Danny Garcia is a beast.
Cold with it. Yeah, I'm trying to tell people Danny is good.
He's a
Danny is
beast.
good, man. Yes, sir.
So I think I got Garcia
In the split? You got him in the split?
too.
I will say this though. I might add this on, but I probably won't. We got to wrap this up. I'm gonna add this on, but I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm saying that's my prediction. Like any prediction, I can be wrong. That's why I give keys to victory afterward. You understand what I'm saying? My key to victory, I'm saying, so with my prediction, I'm saying this is what I think is going to happen. My key to victory is if they do this, they'll win. If they do this, they'll win. I said, Roy Jones, stay away, but don't always stay away. When he come, tie him up. 1, 2, 2, tie him up. I'm going to show it to you when you ain't got to. I called that thing down the middle. I knew exactly what was going on. I said, you want to beat him, do it like that. You want Mike Tyson, you want to beat Roy Jones, go to the body. Yeah, that's it. Ain't 53 years old. If he catch 7 of them things, that'd be it. So that's what it is. But that don't mean I know my predictions can be wrong. They just not, I just pride myself in my prediction record. I told you I'm gonna start taking tab on my prediction record. So I appreciate you, brother. Will, he done called me. I'm trying to spar this cat, and this cat, I'm about to leave. I'm on my way home. At least get my hands looked at. So I appreciate you, brother. Hold on, let me see if I can flip this thing. Can I flip it? Can I flip you? Flip it over. How do I flip this camera over? I think I'm taking a bunch of pictures. I am. No edit.